Hello, beautiful souls out there. I hope you're able to get out in nature like Starlight is. Woo! So there we go. There we are. So anyway, I love you so much. And I hope you're able to get out in nature like Starlight is. And, you know, I'm letting you know, there's times we got to make ourselves do things, And besides, some of you say you're busy, I'm so busy, I can't do this, and I'm so busy. What are you busy doing? I gotta ask, is it working on yourself? That's great. Hey, yay! If you're working on yourself, that's great. That's good to be busy working on yourself, but there's a lot of distractions out there, I'm letting you know, so you do have to be careful, even Starlight. Like this morning, I went to a bench looking at a lake or a pond or whatever, and I was going to start reading a book. I didn't last very long, because there's people, they're going to distract you. And so you got to be wise on this, and this is the time you don't want to go back to sleep. So stay awake. Really pay attention to the people that you have in your life, because it could be family members or people that they say they're friends, and they could be pulling you away so then they can use you to help them out, where now you're just, you're doing things in the wrong order, where you're putting them before your own self. And that was me many years ago. And so no, it's not that way anymore. You gotta God first, then you. If you want to help people out, that's great, but you gotta take care of you, and make sure you're being taken care of, and make sure you're taking care of yourself in all ways. So be careful. There's a lot going on in this world, and this is not the time that you want to get distracted. You got to protect your energy. And sometimes that means that we got to let people go that are pulling us away from things that are important, and you got to save your ass first before you can save anybody else's. And that's why Starlight couldn't do this her whole life. I had to work on myself first. So that's the introduction. So yes, it's so important. Save your ass first. Then if you have extra time, then you can go and help those people out. But, make sure you are before them. And so anyway, thank you to all of you who've been here. Love and supporting Starlight for all these years, or maybe you just recently joined me. So thank you, and I appreciate all of you. I can't do this on my own, and we all can't do this on our own. We all need each other. So before I start this video, now today is about, because my YouTube channel is about be the change that you want to see in the world. So this is what this is going to be about, is that there's people that they want to see a change in the world, but what's the but mean? Well, okay, here we go. So people say, they want to see a difference in the world. They want to see a positive change in the world, and, it is the way it is right now. There's a lot of stuff, on the news, with, war stuff and all this stuff. And then you got, what the heck? I mean, I'm going to say that. What the heck is going on with the Hollywood stars? I have never kept up with that stuff. But man, talk about the age of truth. Stuff is just coming out. This system is failing. The system is crashing, and that's really, and I didn't know that on my own. I got that from my mentor, Infinite Waters, Ralph Smart. So I can't take credit from that. But the system is falling apart, this matrix, And so right now a lot is going on, and there's a lot of people that are fearing about their life and stuff like that. And, but, there's people, they don't even care what's going on, They could care less about what's going on. And a lot of people, what? They're like, hey, nothing's going to really happen. Nothing's going to really happen. And I'll tell you what, be prepared, because, there's times that we have to have things, you know, to happen because there's people that don't care, and they're, you know, they're not out there, you know, being a part of the solution. Instead, they're being a part of the problem, you know. And so my video here is because I just got done doing like a meditation for Mother Earth, and that is why I'm making this video right now. And here, oh, look at that. There's a Taurus over there. I don't know if I'm going to be able to zoom. There it is. So yeah, what does it mean when you see a tortoise? So anyway, today is about like with Mother Earth, you know, and how she's gone through hell, you know. And I know you might be thinking, Starlight, you're talking to, you know, like she's a human or something. Well, she is alive, isn't she? Just like these beautiful trees and the plants, you know. You think they, you know, they don't feel like, you know, they don't have some kind of way of, you know, because like there's trees that die and die off. And, you know, so with Mother Earth, you know, a lot of pollution and, you know, people doing things to Mother Earth that is not supposed to be happening, you know. So there's a lot of people out in the world that are really upset. And so with this video here, it's about, you want to see the change in the world, but what is the but, you know? Is there, you know, are you doing anything to be that change that you say you want to see a change in the world, but what are you doing? What kind of impact are you doing in the world to be the change that you would like to see, or see, you know, to make a difference in the world? And I just met a man just yesterday, and he's going out and, you know, putting love messages out in the world. And I'm like, you know, we had a great connection, and that is awesome. And I just inspired a guy today to put love out in the world, and that's what we all need. Everywhere I go, you know, I really surprise people. They don't know what to think because they're not used to having some pretty girl come up to them and make them feel like sunshine, you know. And that, I mean, like, some people like, whoa, what's up with that? You know, they're shocked. They are. And then when I explain, and then they see me go into my car, and I got a sticker on my car that says, be the change that you want to see in the world. And then it's like, oh, she's actually is being the change that she wants to see in the world by treating people with kindness. What kind of changes do you want to see in the world? And I just was doing a meditation about, like, with Mother Earth, and like sending my love around the planet, you know. And how do I want to see, you know, how, you know, this earth has been created by God the Creator, but what do we want to see get changed in this planet, on the planet, with, you know, people? And so I was meditating, thinking about that. How do I want to visualize that? You know, because we can create that by visualizing it and also practicing those things that we, you know. So these are some things that I was thinking about through, you know, I didn't have a lot of time to think about that, you know. It was only like it's like 24 minutes for a guided meditation and it was only a few minutes really to kind of visualize how I would like to see the new earth, you know, like, because most people are in the third dimension, you know, which Starlight has been rising in the love frequency, the fifth dimension, where the third dimension is the fear frequency. And that's where a lot of people are. They're afraid. They're fearful, you know. They're afraid to go out here. Oh no, Starlight, I can't go out there in the woods. There's alligators out there. There's turtles, you know. So there's people, they're afraid of their own shadow, you know. And those people there are in the third dimension, you know, even though, because we're all multi-spiritual beings having a human experience. So that means, because it's not about our shell, it's about the spirit in us, that we're able, you know, because we are spirit beings, we're able to not just be in one dimension, we can actually shift to other dimensions. But how do you want to see the world instead of the way it is with the people, you know? And so Starlight was thinking about that through this meditation, like I said. And you know what? I want to see, my envision is, I desire to see people being friendly to everyone that they see, and that everywhere they go, they don't look down, they don't look the other way, they actually smile and look at people like I do all the time. It's an all-time job everywhere I go, and I get a lot of great, beautiful feedback from people because I surprise the heck out of them when I do this everywhere I go. And so I would love to see people that, when they see somebody struggling, that they go over there and check up on them, and they're real, and they're not looking to get anything from that person. And I did that today, this morning, is that there was a man, and I could see that there was something up, and I see this. And so I'm like, hey, hello, how you doing this morning? And he goes, I'm doing good, but you know what? I said, you know what? I was going to go into the gas station because I had to use the bathroom. I'm like, you know what? You didn't convince me on that, I knew he wasn't doing good, And so I went in the store because I had to use the bathroom. I came back out. I didn't just go right to my car. No, I went over there to check up on the man, So that's what it's about. It's about not being selfish. It's about taking some time out of your life, but make sure you do things in the right order. You don't want to go, do things in the wrong order. And that just took a few minutes of my time to go over there and really inspire that man. Other things that I would love to see a change on, and I know all of you would agree to this, is so we're going to be friendlier out in public, so we ought to, like I've been doing this for years. I was doing this out in New York before I even got out here, but so now I'm even, doing it a lot more, I go out of my way to be friendly with people and open up doors, and, I see somebody coming towards the door at the gas station. You know what? I grab a hold of that door and I open it like I work there, and I have a smile on my face, and they light up. And I mean, yeah, it took extra time for them to actually get to the door. I get people that they're, they were far away from coming to the door, to go into the gas station. And I could have just act like I didn't see them and just walk into the gas station. But no, I'm like, you know what? It's only going to take me a few extra minutes to hold that door and give them eye contact and smile, because this is what the world needs. Instead of acting like, that we're greater and better than other people, but we're, or that we're too busy, or we're in a rush. No, we got to slow down and really appreciate the people, even if they're strangers, So that's how we're going to make a difference in the world, is to slow down and really appreciate the people around in your neighborhood, or in, strange areas that you, places that you don't know. And another thing that I visualized is, with doctors, people in the professional field, okay? They're not, in the new world, what they're doing? With their patients, they're no longer just medicating them up. The only ones that are actually having medications are the ones that actually possibly might need it. And I'm not even 100% sure on that, because I believe we can heal ourselves. That we are the best doctors for ourselves, because we know more about what's going on with our bodies. And a lot of time the doctors don't even take freaking enough time with their patients. What you get, how many minutes into a room, you get a new doctor, they might have like a list of things, from other places, but really, how many minutes do you think that they spend in the exam room with you? And now they're gonna, wow, that was quick, and now they're already writing a prescription out for you to take some kind of medication. So my vision of a new world and a new earth is where doctors are, instead of somebody taking like 15 different kinds of medications, they're actually, they're saying, actually, you really don't need all this. We actually got a program, and there's a lot of people all around the world that's a part of this, because we need healthy people and healthy minds, people that are loving and caring for themselves, and we need doctors that are going to be real with their patients, because there's a whole lot of people out in the world that know that they can get healed through all kinds of things, through meditations, through sound, through color. It's amazing how, if people, were just, it would be a beautiful world, wouldn't it? Just to see how the doctors are just like taking his, the chart, on the patients and say, you know what? We're going to wean you off of all these things. And we got a better program out there. And there's all these people that are professionals and they know about like a different kind of therapy for the people, where they end up helping them to change their diets around, and they got all the support that they need so these people can, they don't just give them a pamphlet, but no, they actually have people that take time. They're professionals. They want to see people to eat healthy and get the right kind of exercise. And all these people, they all want to do this to help the people out. It's not about medicating them up. It's about getting them the right kind of help. So all these different professionals out there, even like police officers, where, when they, I hear a lot of shit from different places when I travel, but like when a police officer, officers go out in public, and they see a homeless person, you know what? Instead of treating them rough and having an attitude towards them because they're living out on the street, no, they don't do that. In my world, in my vision, is that they actually care about these people. And they said, you know what? We have this new law here in this area here, is that we can't have you living on the street anymore. We have a place to bring you. And we have food, we have everything that you need, and we have a doctor for you, like if you want to go get help, but we have a place for you that you don't have to be on the street anymore. We can't have you out on the street anymore. It's not safe for you. And we're going to take you, and we got all these professionals out here that can help you out and get you back on your feet. We already got a place. They're not worried about hurrying up and getting them out to the job. They're out there. They want to get them off the street, to put them, these people need to be loved is what they need, So the officers are treating the homeless people in the new world, with love and kindness, and they're being gentle with the homeless people. That's how the new world is for Starlight, is to treat everybody with kindness. So there's things that can change, but we got to visualize those changes that we want to see in this new world, where people, and at churches, yes, I say a lot of stuff about churches. It's to warn you and to help you out, where there are places, that are something similar to like a church, but it doesn't, it's about love. It's about having peace with the people. It's about caring for them. It's about being real with them, where everybody's there, and it's not about, judging them and criticizing them, and being fake. It's about helping them and guiding them so they can go get the kind of help where they need it. If they're going through some horrible times, is to kind of just come together. Without the Bible, you don't really need the Bible, is that people, because not everybody out there wants to have people come to them with a Bible in their hand, but they can do things in the name of God, to say, hey, you know what? We care about you and we want to help you, and there's these places that we can help, and it's all about love, and it's about the gentleness, energy. It's about, it's not about the money anymore. It's not about what we can take from you. It's about what we can give, and if we all had that mindset, it was like, hey, you know what? How can I help you out? How can I make your life easier? Instead of, a lot of places, to be honest, is that they're looking for what they can take from you, because I used to go to church, and that's what it was like. It was like, hey, we'll go knock on their doors, because it was all about the money. It was about trying to get more. They wanted to use the kids, and that's what it was. And in my new world is that they don't have there's no reason to have military people, because you know what? People are coming together in love and harmony and peace, that there's no reason for a war to be out there, for people to be fighting, because we finally put our differences aside and we decided that, we've been foolish in so many ways, even in the past, even if you're not like that now, even in the past, about how we respond to people or react to people, and the energy that we put out in the world, by getting upset with people, and not knowing the whole story, is that now, because now people are realizing that we need to be a change in the world, for the future of the kids. What kind of world are we creating, for the future of the kids? And that's why I started my YouTube channel, is for the future of the generations to come. What are we handing them down? What are we passing to them? What kind of lifestyle are we giving them? So if we all got serious and went out and looked at the world a different way, and by praying about these things and, visualizing these things to come to pass, we can actually create that new earth by imagining how we want to see it. In animals, I am a big animal person, so, to imagine that there's no fear, so animals can, they don't have to hide anymore. They could just, be themselves and not to fear about somebody grabbing a hold of them and doing, because everybody's got this love thing going on and peace, that, nobody's afraid of the animals anymore, and the animals are not afraid of the people anymore, because they're not going to be shot at anymore. You can't, all they need to do is move the animals around and shift them. To me, I'm not no scientist, but really, they say that area's got too many deer. Well, why can't we take the deer and put them somewhere else in an area that's not overpopulated? Do we really need to keep on killing all the animals all around the planet? So these are just a few things that Starlight thought of this morning, as far as how the world can look, and I'm just putting these out here. Like I said, I didn't have a lot of time to even think about it, but I do love the animals, and of course with the kids, there's no public school. There's a different system going on with the kids with school, so that's, because they really need something. They really do. The way things are right now, the whole teaching system and all that stuff and the programs that they have in there, they're learning about how to have positive mindsets to create their own future. That's what their kind of schooling is. It's all about teaching them about love and kindness and helping each other out, and it's not about division, it's about unity. It's about working on themselves. It's about finding out who they are. It's about how they want to have a huge impact on the world, instead of going out to get to a 9-to-5 job. It's about how can they actually make a difference in the world by finding out who they really truly are. So anyway, I really hope you get a lot of help from this video, and so don't be afraid to, you got to stand out from everybody else. Like my mentor says, to make a difference, you got to be different out in the world, and that's what we need. We need to, let go of our old version of ourselves and reinvent who we are, and be that change that you want to see in the world. Become your greatest version instead of, waiting for everybody else to do the work. And it's easy to say it, but to practice it, and we can all, if we all just got serious with ourselves and said, I'm gonna send more love out in the world. I'll tell you what, if you're lonely and you're sad and you're depressed, you'll feel amazing, and you will thank yourself later on. But you first got to love yourself before you can go out and do that. So, if it's a struggle for you to send love out in the world, that means that you got to work on self-love with yourself, and forgive yourself, love yourself. And so I love you so much. So think of ways, and I didn't mention everything. This was just a little tiny bit of things. There's a whole lot that needs to get changed in the world. So anyway, I love you so much. This is Starlight, and namaste. This is Starlight, love, light, and peace. Thank you for watching my video. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel, plus give me a thumbs up, and you can leave me a message down below, beep, beep, beep. Plus, you could share my videos with your family or friends, and don't forget the notification bell, and check out my playlist. And you can also find me on Instagram at 1995 Starlight, or on Facebook, and that is Kathy with a K Dingman Starlight. Thank you for watching. This is Starlight. Namaste. This is Starlight, love, light, and peace.